Howdy, y'all. Jackson here with Ick Jerk Studios, and welcome back to another episode of Outside the Hash. We once again have Nate here, but Kyle is dead. One day we'll have all three of us again.
Days, but I'm finally back on a more permanent basis.
Like, when was the last time we had all three of us? It was like 2 months
3 months.
ago.
Yeah, been too long.
All right. We don't have much to go over. We've got a little bit of news, and we have the Rice Bowl, which is Friday. I promise I'm not being racist. That is literally the name of the game. But yeah. So I have my screen streaming. So I will bring up the the thing. So not last week, but the last playoff games were Obic lost to Panasonic 5-24, and the Challengers lost to the Frontier 21-52. So it's Fujitsu versus Panasonic in the championship for the fourth year in a row. So
Sakes.
yeah, so the top two teams that have been the top two teams. So here are all the stats and of all the players that are in the top 20 uh, statistic wise in the different stats. So so I guess we can look back and forth and see who has the edge in every position thing. So Fujitsu had the edge in passing with the fourth best passer to the seventh best passer. They have the edge in running backs because they have the 1 and the 4, and their top one is the 5th. So Trayshawn Nixon is also a former two-time MVP. So wide receiver, I say Fujitsu had the edge there too, having three players in the top 20. Uh, Defensive wise, though, Panasonic has some good. They have two linebackers with top 20 tackles. One even had 4 sacks. Defensive backs, you can kind of ignore the games played on this because their stats thing is only counts games in which they recorded that statistic. So there's the Yamamoto had 4 interceptions across 2 games. Is basically what that's saying. So they're actually pretty even defensive back interception wise, but probably Panasonic has the edge DB wise. They also have an import at DB. And I just assume if he's not on the list, it's probably because nobody just doesn't throw at him, would be my guess, right?
Sense.
If you could throw against the Japanese guy or the American, I'm just going to throw at the Japanese guy every single time. So imports, uh, Fujitsu has Trayshawn Nixon, Samaji Grant, Joe Mathis, so halfback, wide receiver, defensive line. Everybody's D1, and imports for Panasonic is Caleb Phillips, Jabari Williams, and Joshua Cox. Tight end, linebacker, defensive back. Tight end is a weird position to have for your import, but it worked out for them because they are in the championship, I guess, right?
Fourth year in a row.
Yeah. And then both teams have a very long history. One was founded in 1974, the other in 1985, and it is 9 championships to 7 championships. But all of Fujitsu's are
They blew
really
7-0 lead.
really recent.
Oh, I'm sorry. Technically, they blew a 6-0 lead.
Yeah. Or 7-1.
7-1. Yeah, same thing. Yeah.
Yeah. They're one. So they lost to Obic in 2020 in the championship. So that's the only thing that's keeping them from having from 2016 to now.
Absolutely insane.
They're like a super dynasty right now.
That's why I hope my Cadillos become.
Yeah.
Come on.
The only thing that screwed them over was COVID. It should also, I want, just as a fun side note, and I think why these two teams are so much better than everybody else, is that these are the only two teams that are still corporate teams. So these are the only teams that like technically everybody on the roster is getting paid, even if they're not the pro, because these are all people that work for the companies. Like even IBM, which used to be a corporate team, is a club team now. But anyways, our brackets are looking good for you and me. Kyle with just trying to be the contrarian did not work out for him.
Kyle for at least showing faith in my team.
Yeah,
It was a bold strategy and did not pay off.
it did
But
not pay off. I think the only close game that's been in this postseason is Obik versus Rise. Everything else has been kind of a blowout. The last three of these games have actually been close.
I was gonna, comparatively, at least with like the European League, though these aren't as bad.
At some of those, yeah.
Like at least you're keeping it within 3 scores instead of like 9. But yeah, not great.
I know. Probably because of the import limit, this is probably the weakest of the foreign leagues. But I would really like to see somehow them to make an ELF X League LFA like world championship.
So sick. That'd be so sick. I need to know how my Caudillos would compete, baby.
I think the Caudillos would be.
They keep up.
I think they'd probably win because like 16 of their 22 starters are all Americans. They were so lopsided with their imports.
It makes no sense how they have so many Americans. It makes no sense. But
yeah, like at least the ELF ones, the rosters are mostly from the country, which is why I think why Barcelona was so bad is because Spain is just not big enough for 2 teams.
No, it's not. Don't know who thought it was.
And Italy obviously can't keep up, or the Czech Republic can't keep up. Why Milan and Prague were so bad. Yeah, really the only good teams were the Germans, which is probably because of all the Americans during military bases that popularized football there, American football there, and then the Austrians, which are basically Germans. All right, so yeah, I'm sticking with my pick of Fujitsu here. I think they're going to win. They're going to make it 4 in a row, and then what is this? 2016 to now is how many years? 8.
5.
8 of 9.
Yeah, okay, because the championship game's not tonight, right?
Yeah, it's Friday.
So yeah, that would make it 5 in a row if they're going from 21.
Well, yeah, and it'll be 8 of 9 because they just have the one miss.
Yeah, I gotcha. Yeah,
championships in 9 years.
Cook.
Take that, Tom Brady.
Never heard.
Yeah, the Chiefs want to say they're a dynasty. Try winning 8 championships in 9 years. Patrick Mahomes could never.
There's no way. He could barely even beat the Panthers without the refs' help.
All right. Well, let me pull up the different news that we had.
Yeah, well, first of all, obviously, as we all know, Illinois, the SEC.
Oh, look. Oops, I didn't mean to have that score up. Oops, I didn't mean to have this score
up. It just means more, baby.
Yep.
It just means.
All right. Some major news is, at least for my team, is that the Quad City signed DeQuan Neal, former IFL MVP. So I feel like we got a quarterback again because last year we did not have a quarterback. So I'm feeling good about this.
Feeling better. Okay.
I don't know if he's going to be as good as EJ was, but at least we have a competent quarterback, one that I can trust. And then ICT pulled out of the AF1 for this upcoming season, so I was really more surprised that they lasted all last year, more than that they're pulling out this year. So
wasn't that one of the teams we bet that they were 100% not gonna?
Yeah, we were very convinced that they were not going to last, but I guess they saved enough money to last.
Good for you guys. You proved us wrong.
Yep.
Barely.
Just barely proved us wrong. We also had the corpse of the AIF. Added a third team.
I'm totally rooting for the Corville Chads. I know it says chaos. You can't convince me. They're definitely the Corville Chads.
They and Cedar Rapids are owned by the same guy. So,
oh my gosh.
West Michigan, I've followed them for a long time because they were in the CIF their first year, and then they were supposed to join the IFL, but then they got sued by the CIF for leaving, so then they had to play an independent year, and then they've been in these like weird minor leagues for like the last 6 years.
Or West Michigan.
Yeah, so maybe they'll finally make their way back to a real league next year.
They deserve it. Yeah, now, if they were Eastern Michigan, I'd say screw
them. You hate Eastern because they beat Illinois.
No particular reason.
Yeah. And then here the NAL, since Harrisburg withdrew, they have their new divisional breakup and their new schedule.
Sweet.
But yeah.
10 teams, ambitious.
Yep.
I'm mad that Colorado survived. Screw them. They might be my least favorite team in all these leagues. I hate them.
I hope they have new announcers.
I hate them so much. I cannot believe they had an announcer that made me hate just as nearly as much as Chris Collinsworth. That is hard to do, but those guys pissed me off.
And they did it for free, probably.
Oh man, I'll give them that much. Oh, I'll give them that at least. But
they were like the opposite of the Idaho announcer. They were so glazed.
Those guys were hilarious, but they were trying way too hard to be objective, and then just ended up being glazing the other team as a result. Like, bro,
so annoying.
You can compliment the team you're commentating for. Just don't do it every 5 seconds.
Yeah. Where's the beef? Well,
where's the beef, baby? Oh man.
All right. Well, at least we were funny. We, still not a very long episode. Do you have any last words you want to put in for this week?
Illinois loves Cox. No particular reason, but first time we ever beat an SEC team.
Really?
It took us 100.
This is your first SEC win?
I wish I could say I was kidding, Jackson. I'm not. Go look it up. It's our first ever SEC win. Yeah. So embarrassing.
We beat the SEC twice this year because we beat Alabama on the 1st, and then we beat Alabama on the 31st. We started and ended our year the same way.
The SEC in 3 times in one calendar year before we ever did it for the first time. But we finally got that off our chest. And, our first 10-win season since, certain things happened in 2001. Thank goodness.
We're on the rise. Back?
We're so back,
baby. Back if they've ever been around?
It was a night. We were around in 1920s.
How many national championships? Do you have any national championships?
We have 5 claimed national championships.
Okay.
We actually do have a few. It's just been 100 years. Is it an Illinois sports team if it doesn't take them 80 or 90 years? And to win a ring, you know.
Yeah, that's on brand, as on brand as he could possibly get.
But we are so back. Just took 90 years off.
All right, well, we'll talk to everybody next year. We'll talk to everybody next year. Have a happy new year.